The Forerunners spent eons defining the mantle of responsibility as a duty of care. But on the world of Charum Hakkor, they discovered that the mantle had a much darker origin. Locked within a 10 million year stasis field sat the Primordial, a creature of ancient, impossible biology. The Primordial, the timeless one, the last living link to our creators, the Precursors. It didn't offer wisdom or salvation. Instead, it provided a truth so fundamentally breaking that even the most brilliant Forerunner minds chose suicide over existence. Today, we bridge the gap between the games, the comics, and the technical lore of neural physics in Halo. Welcome to Mythos Game Lore Today. We're diving deep to answer the questions that define the Halo universe. Why did the Precursors transform into the Flood? And was this unity always their plan for us? "10 million years ago, the Forerunners unearthed something that didn't offer salvation or power. They found the Primordial, the last living precursor, locked in stasis. The truth it gave them was so tragic, evil, and disheartening that some of the most advanced minds deemed death and suicide more bearable than existing. The Flood wasn't a monster, but a consequence of the unnatural break in the balance of their existence. Now the question that everyone asks, but the full picture is never given, is, why did the Precursors become the Flood, and was this unity always the plan? The explanation is quite simple. The Precursors were hunted down, they fled and decayed. But the oversimplified answer is wrong because it doesn't reveal a more complete picture. When the Forerunners turned on their creators, yes, those ungrateful and spiteful species, the Precursors didn't just die. They chose to become dust, a form of survival stretched across geological time. They would wait. They would return. But something went wrong. Time happened. Over millions of years, the dust misaligned. It corrupted. And that was how the Flood was born, a true anomaly. The dreadful mistake most people make is assuming this was an accident. The Primordial implies something dark. This corruption wasn't a chance event, but was inevitable, built into causality itself. The Forerunners did murder the creators. Driven by their jealousy for humans, they had misaligned the structure of the world. The fear that humanity, flawed, short-lived humanity, had been chosen to inherit the mantle of responsibility. The Precursors didn't decide the Forerunners were evil, they were just unfit. At some point, the creations asked the creators the same forbidden question. They asked their creators what the universe was, and what living time meant, why existence existed, and why did it feel this way? They dared to request the meaning of the world, and the answer was simple enough to destroy them. Through neural physics, the Precursors understood reality as a living system. The universe didn't just exist. It, in itself, was existence, living and experiencing itself. Suffering was never out of the system or some sort of anomaly. It was a sign the system was indeed true. The world itself was fundamentally tragic. Nothing was supposed to make sense, no singular harmony, and, worst of all, no moral resolution. There was no winning against the Flood. You couldn't fight it, maybe delay it, but its inevitability was final. You could face death, but if you didn't have a reason to live, then meaning itself was dead, and with it came nihilism. So, why humanity? Why choose a fragile, violent, short-lived species over near-immortal, godlike beings? Because the mantle was never about power and control. It was about spirit under restraint and limitation. The Forerunners were rigid, perfect, and static. In summary, the embodied being. Humanity was different. We failed constantly and had our flaws, but we were always becoming, overcoming ourselves, striving, and pushing forward even with the odds stacked against us. Humans couldn't abandon their friends and loved ones. They were passionate, even irrational, yet clung fiercely. The Precursors didn't want gods. They wanted beings capable of choosing meaning even when the price of meaning was too costly. Humanity wasn't chosen because it was pure and perfect. It was chosen because humanity had the potential for exponential growth and, hence, was always becoming and changing without ever crystallizing into a stasis. So, are the Precursors gone? Halo lore strongly suggests that pure Precursors still exist far beyond the Milky Way, seed worlds untouched, extragalactic sanctuaries. They stepped back, removing themselves from the chaos, watching the flood the way a gardener watches a haystack of weeds burn. The flood is not the Precursors in full. It was but a tool, a process, a way to make sure the galaxy never repeats the same mistake. This is where the real crime happens. The Halo rings don't just kill biological life, they rewrite what can be known and understood by neural physics itself. When the rings fired, they didn't just stop the flood, they erased the domain. The universe itself had become schizophrenic, its memory constantly deteriorating. The library of God was burned. The Gravemind isn't just angry, it's grieving. You are not fighting a parasite in Halo 3, you are fighting the ghost of a god whose home was destroyed. The Forerunners didn't save the galaxy, they amputated its soul, and a dead galaxy was born. The flood isn't a disease. It's the Precursors' way of making sure the galaxy never hurts itself again, by making us all one single, screaming mind. Thanks for making it to this part of the video. This was a really philosophical and depressing story for us to get into. If you would like us to make a breakdown on the dialogue of the Gravemind from Halo 2 and 3, let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep on exploring new stories and have a blessed week.
All right. Shoot.